Hi there, I'm Rebecca and a really warm welcome back to my channel, PumpkinBecki. In this week's video I'm going to be turning this beautiful glass jar and some of my carnivorous plants into a fabulous terrarium. Let's get started. This video has come about because when I was at the RHS Malvern show and I met up with E-Coco, I spotted their terrarium filling kits on their stand and I didn't know they did those. It's really cool. It's got everything you need apart from the container and the plants. And they do 3 different types of these terrarium filling kits. They have their popular cactus and succulent mix, other plants, and also carnivorous and moss plant mix. So you get a bag of your chosen compost mix, just depending on which sort of plant it is you want to grow. You get a bag of gravel, which I have washed thoroughly, and you also get a bag of charcoaled cocoa husk. And the last thing is the instruction sheet. So on the instruction sheet it says prepare your container, peel off any price tags or stickers from your container and give it a good clean. I have just done that. This will get rid of any unwanted dirt that could affect the health of your plants. That's true. Unwanted dirt can harbour disease and it can also prevent light getting into the terrarium properly, so the plants aren't able to photosynthesize properly. Step 2 is add your grit. So this is a lidded container, so it's going to be a closed terrarium. Now, I'm not exactly going to follow the instructions in the leaflet, and that's because to drainage layer or not to drainage layer is very much dependent on your conditions, on what plants you're growing, personal choice, many things. Because I'm growing carnivorous plants in here, they like to have soggy bottoms. They come from bogs, so there's no reason to try and drain water away from them. They need to sit in water like all my other plants do every single day through the growing season. They are in water. So, just like my other terrariums, what I'm going to do is create a false bottom so that we get the decorative look of the pebbles around the outside, but they won't actually be making a physical drainage layer. So I rinsed my bag of grit off about 4 times, just until the water was coming off clear. And I'm using a small scoop. You could use a cup, something you can easily get in and out of the top of your terrarium, to lay the grit around the outside. It's not a good idea to drop the grit in. With a finer jar you could crack it, and if you throw it in you're really likely to make a mess of the side of your nicely cleaned terrarium. I'm just taking a moment to go around, make sure the gravel is forming a nice even layer. This container has actually got a slight bow in the centre, but I'm not too worried about that. I think it's going to be absolutely fine. I bought this as a second. It was on eBay. It has got some little bubbles in the glass, it's got a little chip on the rim, but for what I want, it's going to be perfect. So here I've just laid a roughly cut off piece of mesh on my bench, and I'm putting the lid of the terrarium on top of it so I can use it as a guide. Just like when I made the drainage layer for my other terrariums, I want to cut this a little wider than my guide, and that's so it can rise up over the top of the gravel, because that's a bigger surface area than just the flat bottom of the bowl. Cut a little bigger than you think for the first pass, think by the time I've got the compost charcoal mix in there and the plants and some water, that's going to be great. Pleased with that. Step 3. Add the charcoal. You don't need much charcoal, just enough to cover over the grit. The activated charcoal will help keep your terrarium healthy, reducing any bacteria, fungi and odours. Step 4. Add the soil. Add enough soil to allow the roots of your plants to grow. Try and aim for a depth slightly bigger than the height of the pot your plants originally came in. That's presumably to allow the roots to grow a little bit. Okay. So here's my carnivorous plant mix. It looks like it might be the elite mix because it's got the rice husk in it. Ooh, it's already got charcoal in it. That's cool. This terrarium may have looked absolutely enormous when you first saw it, but some carnivorous plants can get really tall, so it's good to have something with lots of height, and by having that width I've got room for quite a big clumpy plant. I'm excited, and I've still got about 7 inches head height above the soil surface, and this soil isn't damp yet. It may compact a little bit more once I start planting it. So I think I've chosen the plants I'm going to be using for the terrarium. I have got here a Sarracenia purpurea venosa, I think. I have another plant which looks incredibly similar to it. This came to me unlabelled, so I'm fairly confident that that's what this is. I have the opportunity here to kind of split this clump up a little bit into a couple of crowns, maybe 3, which means I can space them out a little bit more. I could add some sundews, because if I went with the standard capensis or the capensis alba, they don't get desperately tall, so they would work quite well. Or I could use some of my Venus flytrap as well. Options. Right, what I think I'm going to do is make space in the middle here. I'm fairly confident I wanted to be a sort of central feature, and then potentially other things around the outside. So I'm just trying to break the crown apart a little bit. It looks pretty cruel, but it'll be okay. I'm going to split some capensis out from this pot. So these are standard capensis with the red colouring to the little tendrils, which makes the dewdrops look ever so slightly pinky as well. I'm going to aim to take off ones that are growing nearer the edge. I didn't repot this one this year, it was very happy. So this will actually just help them, the rest of the plants, give them a bit of space to breathe. They have very strong, thick roots. I'm just trying to tease this little clump out of the rest of them. Oi. Ugh, there we go. Look at that. Before I put these in, I will go around and clean up any dead stuff, because I don't want to introduce dead material. I'm going to lose some of the dew on these, just like I did when I repotted Capensis at the beginning of the year, but they'll soon dew up again. I'll just do a little bit of clean up on these just to get rid of any of this dead dry material. So you might be wondering how on earth I'm going to feed these carnivorous plants. I've got a couple of options. I can either use ground up better fish food, as I have previously talked about, and sort of artificially feed them, or I can leave the lid off for a while and let flies get in. That's obviously a slightly more hit and miss way of doing it. And when you're handling big sticky plants that don't want to behave, try and just sort of take a deep breath and remember to enjoy the process. You should only have to do this once. Now I'm going to try and carefully water this with rainwater. Do it in stages, and I'm going to try and use the water to clean the glass a little bit. And also help firm down the plants. Just keeping an eye on air bubbles that are happening around here. This is an incredibly absorbent soil mixture, so it will hold an awful lot of liquid, which is great. Perfect, that's what these need. So I need to just add the water in stages, allow it to wick up through, and then add more if I need to. Again, remember these are bog plants, they will not mind. If you can see any air pockets forming, just adjust. And I've just made a little wad of tissue paper around the end of a stick, and I'm going to use that to just clean the glass a little bit. Don't think I'm going to be too successful because of the sticky plants I've got in here, but so I'm just trying to sweep away the dirt from the glass surface. Right, that's the planting done. I'm pretty sure I've left enough room for things to grow and spread. What I will need to do with this terrarium is be prepared to move it indoors and outdoors on occasions, and particularly over winter. All these carnivorous plants need a period of winter dormancy so that they can restore themselves ready for the new growing season, and I will then have to come along and just cut back all the top growth so it's ready to grow again for the spring. But other than that, it should technically look after itself. And there's its crowning glory. It's going to condensate up, and then hopefully that should all start to ease itself back down again, and you'll get this cycle, and probably morning and evening you'll get flushes of condensation, but that should die back down. This is going to be a lot wetter than any other terrarium I have planted, so I have to be prepared for that. The sundews all look so sad right now, but they will perk back up again. There will be dew, all that soil will come off, it will be fine. I believe in you. So as you will have seen, this project is coming to you in collaboration with E-Coco Products UK. They gave me the kit to have a try, and I am really pleased with the results. It's great to have a go with that premium carnivorous plant soil as well. I haven't tried that before. So if you like the look of this and you want to have a go yourself, get yourself over to their website, which is down below. Right, well that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to rate, share and subscribe to me here on YouTube. And until next time, bye!